Hey everyone, it's Nick here. I am sadly not going to be joined by Keith this week due to scheduling conflicts with the both of us being out of town, and now me having what Keith is lovingly referring to as boo boo tummy. We will not be able to record one of our regular episodes. However, we didn't want to leave you guys empty handed, so for this week we are going to be re releasing our episode one. We've gotten a lot of new listeners in the last couple weeks, last couple months. If you've noticed that the first episode that shows up is episode 2, which is our Jaws episode. We recorded this first episode. We didn't have really great mics. We didn't really know where we wanted to go with the show. We didn't have any of the intro, logo, none of that stuff. So we kind of just turned on the microphone and started recording. So we were able to revamp the audio of the original recording, and we are going to post that for some of our new listeners just to get an idea of, where the show started versus where it is today. So I apologize for the quality of the audio. It was we were sharing a mic at the time, but we hope you enjoy it. If you've been liking the content so far and are looking for ways to support Keith and I and support the show, if you want to give us a follow on, Spotify, wherever you listen to our show. Also, if you want to leave us some feedback, we've been really enjoying hearing from you guys. We also are out there on Instagram, Twitter, or X, I guess is what it's being called now. We are at What Are We Watchin'? And yeah, so this is the episode 1 revamped. I hope you guys enjoy it. All right, first episode. What are we watching? So finally got Keith here. Keith,
Hi, I'm here. I'm here, guys.
Just
I'm
motioned
here.
to you, and it looked like
Yeah,
like when you get called on in school and you have to read, but you were not following along.
I'll
It
get
looks
it.
like that.
I'll get it the next time. Like
the next time.
yeah, it's like names.
It's like
I need to hear it twice, and I got it.
okay.
I probably
So,
still forget it, but
but we're here. So we got you. You're surprised, right?
oh yeah.
So this episode is the first episode we're going to talk about. We just want to give some backstory into what got us into movies, what we grew up watching, and kind of that sort of thing. Because there's a lot of unknowns. You want to say something more?
Origin story.
Oh my god!
You feel like that lean in,
I did.
dramatic lean in.
I
Well,
did.
you can see it, but you know it's.
Everyone could feel it. They could.
Felt like Batman was at the door.
Oh, so speaking of Batman, we did talk about Batman.
Oh yeah. Should we talk
So
about how the whole first episode has been deleted?
yeah, we were like, all right, that's a wrap, and then it wasn't. It
Yeah, because this
was my
Ding
video.
Dong was running the software off
I
a
was,
flash drive for
I
some
was
reason.
all right. The install was like, oh, it can be portable. So I'm like, oh, yeah.
So he made me for him.
So I made it portable by deleting everything. So, all right. So basically, I thought it'd be cool to just kind of kick off like what got us into movies. So like for me, it was a lot of like I would watch stuff with my dad, like when I was really little, and we did all the usual Disney Channel original movie type nonsense. Um, got into horror probably too young, I'll say.
So Disney too hard is because
Disney to horror. Well, so my uncle, he used to we would go over at my cousin's house, and my uncle used to show us don't make that face.
I'm
It's
only
not,
making
it's menacing.
but you have
It's
to
not
know,
going to
you
be
know
weird.
why I'm making the face.
It's not going to be weird.
I'm making
So,
the face because
so we
last time we
had
did this,
we had a
Nick
whole
said
debate.
Nick said, and I quoted something along the lines of, yeah, but actually, and I was just following along. He was like, yeah, my uncle used to show me horror movies. It wasn't weird, and I'm like, what?
It's
And I'm
just,
like, why did you say it wasn't weird?
I just felt like I needed to clear the air.
Like
But
he
things
made it
can.
weird by saying it wasn't weird.
That's like saying I like ice cream, but it's not weird.
That's
Like it
no one's
doesn't.
ever said that.
It doesn't have to be
Because no one's ever thought
nefarious.
like you like an ice cream
Yeah.
was weird. It's like a very like
So ice cream has never done weird things. Is that what you're saying?
no. You made it sound like you could do something weird with ice cream.
I
You
don't.
insinuated
But
that
I
by
said
saying
it's not weird.
it's not weird.
So it's not weird. So you used to show me stuff that's not weird. And so but I remember at a young age we watched Killer Clowns from Outer Space. And I think that was like one of the first movies that really like stuck with me. Like horrified me to no end. But I just thought it was a really cool movie. I always thought just, it was the first like I guess kind of like, non-Disney movie that I watched. And
So it was that we watched Ghosts of Mars with the big one with what's Ice Cube.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that was kind of a that was weird. That was a bad one. Um, and then yeah, just kind of went from there. But what about you?
So you
Where
went
did you
from just
start?
straight up G to
Yeah,
like,
we did a
well,
ton of comedies growing up
okay,
too.
so there is the
Oh,
segue there.
My Blue Heaven was a we have like these family movies. So My Blue Heaven was on there.
That's interesting.
Yeah,
No
yeah,
one's ever, I've never talked to anybody about that movie except for you.
really.
Yeah, and
You
your
come to a
family is like
family,
all in.
come into a family dinner that we have every Sunday and say, "What a day for a Mo!" Everyone's gonna know what's going on. You know what I mean?
See, that's cool to me because
Yeah,
that's not something.
that's not that's not your classic family movie. You
No,
know what I mean?
because
Yeah,
on the other side of the coin, Goodfellas
yeah.
told
Oh, we're
story of
gonna
the
get into
story,
that.
somehow a story of the same character.
Yeah,
The movies couldn't be more different,
yeah.
but based on the same
Based on
character.
the same character. Yeah, which we will get into. We're gonna talk
Yeah,
about.
I can't wait for that.
We're both big mob movie fans. I think we could agree on,
I think we
right?
could agree on it. And I think we have an unrealized project in the. Should we?
That will be disclosed at a later time.
Yeah.
Let's
Let's
just
just
say it's
say
gonna change the game as we know it.
yes, it will.
What about you? What did you get it? Like,
Okay, so
what did you? Yeah,
you went from Disney straight into horror. I had three VHSs. So I did the Disney whatever, Sword in the
yeah,
Stone,
yeah.
Robin Hood, whatever. And then my parents for some reason got me. So Home Alone 2 was normal,
Okay,
PG, whatever.
sure.
I think I saw that before the original somehow, but I don't know
I mean, it's not like any.
how. But both of them, I love both.
He's
But
home and he's by himself. You know, it's not like it's
um,
yeah.
but the other ones were Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, starring
Classic.
Kevin Costner,
Kate
Christian
Costner,
Slater,
man.
Morgan Freeman in that weird
Yeah,
scene at the beginning. That
with the
everybody's
lady with
like,
the glassy eye, right?
yes, the
Yeah,
weird,
yeah.
yeah, the
She
weird
was
lady.
a nightmare. That
Oh,
guy.
I used to have a little CRUSH on Maid Marian. Anyways, Batman Returns was
Okay.
also, and those are the three I owned, and those was just
And you just plowed through him.
and
Big Danny DeVito as the Penguin
yeah,
fan.
yeah. So I could watch that. That movie didn't bother me, even though that movie is 10 times to me darker than Batman '89, which
Yeah,
is I think my favorite Batman movie.
yeah.
But as a
Mm.
kid, I could not watch Jack Nicholson on screen. He scared the everlasting shit out of me. Just I remember I could picture the house I was in, my
Yeah,
grandparents'
yeah.
house,
He's
the
got like a creepy
the
face
green
in that movie.
recliner, that weird material, and I'd have to hide behind it every
Yeah,
time he came on, dude. That white makeup.
yeah. That was a good
You know
one.
what they always say? No white makeup in the bedroom. They don't say that.
They don't.
Anyways, that movie scared the shit out of me, even though it's not a horror movie.
Yeah.
But those are my three
It's
most
it's
watched.
it's frightening
And
in
I
its own way.
still,
Yeah.
and I'm sorry to say it, I said this the first time, I'm going to say it again. I'm still going
Yeah.
to upset the viewers. I still take Batman '89.
Listeners, it's listeners.
I'm going to say viewers because I
Viewers.
feel like they're watching us.
We're watching something.
They're watching probably something way more entertaining, and this is in their headphones if they're
Yeah.
even listening.
Yeah, they are watching us stand over their shoulder playing this, waiting for response.
Watching
Like, no, you got it. Did you hear the part about the
yeah,
uncle?
just watching those listens call up one by one, go in the next person's desk, doing it again.
Also, I need to point out, we're drinking very hot
It's
coffee.
so hot.
I don't know why. We're recording. It's 9 o'clock at night, and it's hot. I'm very uncomfortable.
Round one, take one. I wanted a cup of coffee.
Yeah.
I did one for this one, but
Yeah.
I also expressed I love a nice espresso after a meal.
No,
I
who doesn't?
had this
Yeah.
delectable pizza with chicken on it right here. I want an espresso. He didn't have it because he
No.
doesn't have a damn espresso machine. Well, I
Yeah.
don't know what's up with that.
Coffee,
But
man. You
he's
know,
got that ninja with the Keurig.
big
So we
time.
got some pods going.
Big
I
time.
love a pod coffee. I
Oh,
love it.
who doesn't?
Podcast, pod
Not on.
coffee. I don't.
We're sponsored by
What brand you got?
uh
I don't even know what you have.
it's Keurig.
It's delectable.
It's Keurig.
Is that a word? Yeah, it
No,
is.
that's Ninja.
Ninja. No, but
Sponsored by Ninja.
No, we're not sponsored. What's the pod? What type of pods?
Oh,
Tell them what we're drinking.
it's sponsored by Fireball. When you want to fight your stepdad at the cookout. Oh, these are Krispy Kreme glazed donut K-cups.
Oh,
America in a cup, baby. How about
in a
it?
cup?
But anyway. So these three VHS tapes, you blew through them.
Yeah, and for some reason I had Power Rangers. I think the first movie that was, and a couple episodes on the VHS for my
Yeah.
birthday for my aunt. And that was just like recorded then. So
Oh,
it's
it was
got
just like,
commercials. That's the true way to watch it, anyways.
that'd be fun to watch now.
Yeah.
See all the old commercials and
Yeah,
stuff like that.
yeah, it's a good time. I mean, you want to go on YouTube? They got reels of them. It's like someone else thought about this first.
Yeah.
Just like two guys doing a podcast.
Yeah.
About
We figured we would want to break in and do something never seen before.
Yeah.
So we were like, look, I'm a guy, you're a guy. Let's do a podcast.
so. Do we want to talk about how this actually came too?
We could.
Yeah,
We
real
could.
quick, because we did it once. No
We
one's
did it
gonna
once.
hear how we did it,
We've perfected it.
but I'll
Yeah,
go
we've
quick.
deleted, yeah.
So for a year, at least a year, I've been coming to your desk
Mhm.
with some, especially
Yeah.
on Monday morning, some awful bit, some skit that's never gonna be a skit,
Yeah.
but some idea
Yeah.
that is awful, and then it turned into us just ranting about movies, quoting things,
Yeah.
whatever nonsense.
We just fill
Whatever nonsense I just watched for the last 4 days, I come in and just dump it on you, and
just
then
unload. Yeah.
you give me some intuitive quotes, or you pull things out of thin air that I
Something.
cannot believe, and then everyone else gets distracted. We get in trouble, told that we can't talk at work,
Yeah.
but we still would meet secretly. But everyone else kind of ruined it for us. I think what we had.
It was a sweet spot
Oh, man,
of like
it's like-
we would be chatting about movies and then it just went awry.
Yeah.
People started coming over.
They started telling their neighbor at work, and then
Yeah.
they would bring them like, "Oh my God,
Mhm.
Nick and Keith are at it again." I'm like, "Dude, we're not that
We're not
bad.
at it. We're not at
For you guys. This is for us." So we,
You know what I noticed was a problem? People would want us to sit next to each other in meetings. So they'd be like, "Oh yeah, guys, just like do your," and I'm
oh,
like,
yeah.
"No."
Oh, they're gonna disrupt this entire meeting with some nonsense. It's like, no, we don't
And
do
we
that.
did,
Yeah, we did.
but
We did.
yeah. So we figured, why not? We got to take this to somewhere where people won't be bothered by it, except people who are in their cars, or wherever you're going to be listening to this.
So we talked
So I
about
had this idea. That's right. We had this idea, and it was your birthday recently. So my wife designed the logo that you see on the page. And then we printed it out and we framed it, wrapped it up for him, and then I guess what did she send you a link of some sort?
Yeah. So you texted me a couple of days before. She texted me and said, "What's that? What's the name of that podcast you and Nick are never gonna do?"
Out of the gate was
Like,
fired up.
responded back to me. Damn, that was brutal. She's good at that. She's got
Yeah.
some brutal one-liners.
Yeah.
And then you texted me the same night and said, "We're doing this podcast no matter what you say," or something along those lines.
Yeah, I said I don't care what you say. We're doing this
Yeah.
podcast.
And I was like, okay.
Yeah.
I still was like, oh, you
Still
know,
had no clue. what was
still had no
going on.
clue. So
Yeah.
then on my birthday, I get a gift,
Mhm.
and it's a frame. And I'm like, oh no. So I open it. I'm getting a little misty. I'll be honest. It got me.
Sure,
It was like
sure.
because it's the logo
Yeah.
that I hadn't seen yet
Yeah, you knew nothing
in a
about
frame,
this.
and
Yeah.
I'm just like, oh man, hold it together, Gallagher.
Yeah.
This isn't a Star is Born. You can't just cross
This
this.
is-
But then I also get a link from your wonderful wife. There's a Spotify link.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, oh, it's the Beatles. Happy birthday. It's gonna piss.
Beatles,
It's gonna
happy-
piss me right off.
It's gonna send him right.
I'm
over
gonna
the edge.
probably flip my desk.
Oh,
And then I open it, and it's the podcast.
mhm.
What are we watching?
And it's that wonderful
And then
intro
he's
that we
like-
didn't intend on keeping,
he's
but
like-
here we are.
He's like, just listen to it real quick. And I listen to it, and then I'm getting a little misty. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh my god, this is like actually happening.
We're
And
doing
it's
it.
it's just like it was just like a really nice thing. I'm not
Yeah.
misty eyed because I'm like, two guys are getting together doing a freaking podcast. Who's ready?
Yeah.
It was like really a nice
We
thing.
did it, and now
And
look
then
at
a
us.
mug came in the next day,
Oh yeah,
and I'm just sitting there at work.
Yeah.
I'm like, hang on,
yeah.
that's
It's
a
a
real
thing.
freaking dude
It's
right
a thing.
there.
Yeah. We had our little production meeting
Yeah.
where a memorable quote was, "My brain doesn't work so well," by you, and I was like,
Yeah.
"This is gonna be fine."
It doesn't.
We're gonna
I've
be
had a
great.
lot of head injuries, a lot more
Most
than I
of
would
them.
like to
More than
report.
not.
More than the authorities should even know.
Great. So yeah, we did that. And I like to think. So you were talking about like you mentioned it to me when I showed it to you. You were like, this was just like all at once. Like I literally it's just like one thing after another.
It was everything,
Yeah.
everywhere,
all at
all
once.
at once.
Future sponsor.
Future sponsor.
No, I wish.
Yeah, we did talk about that
Yeah.
in the episode that's not going to be out. That we should be sponsored by a movie that's already been made.
Yeah,
I don't know how that works.
I don't
but
know. Yeah,
it should happen.
it's gonna happen.
You
Someone's
said-
gonna
What
rep-
was the
get
movie
some-
though? You said
I
something.
said I would like to be sponsored by one of two movies, one of three, two movies, one idea. One, The Odd Life of Timothy Green.
Yep.
Because who needed that movie? No one. And the second one was Benjamin Button. So we're going to be sponsored by the movie, but then separately by any individual who's dealing with the reverse aging disease.
So if you're listening and
If
you're
you're
Benjamin
listening
Buttoning,
and you look 18, but you've been around for about 75 years, you give us a shout because you got a
Yeah.
spot on the table. But I think like when you opened all of this, I think I've never personally been assassinated. But like when I like to think it was similar. You were like, oh, cool, like it's I got this thing over here, like this thing, and then it was like, and then I got this link, and then it started playing, and then you had the mug, and it's like, oh shit, and then
yeah. Honestly, if I
except
died right
instead
there,
of
it would have made sense.
and except instead of the bullet, it was a podcast. It was an introduction to a podcast with 4 listeners.
And
Maybe
somehow, when all this happened, I was also late for a meeting. So
violently late for a
yeah,
meeting.
really late.
You almost brought the framed picture to a.
I had it in my hand, so I was like, "Oh crap!" I think
Yeah.
I was getting called in to like talk to somebody, and it was actually
No,
me.
there were people
I was
waiting for
supposed to
you.
be with like a packet of paper waiting for me,
Yeah.
and I was just like,
And you're like, this
"Oh!"
isn't
I was just at my desk
this isn't real.
getting Mitzi eye with Nick.
Yeah. That doesn't.
Nothing's wrong, guys. I'm fine.
But it's not weird.
These aren't tears or allergies. Leave
It's
it alone.
allergies.
Just leave it alone.
So then we decided. So that's what kind of brought us here. So we wanted to talk about movies that we watch. So getting back on track, like as I got older, like we have those young movies that kind of showed us where we wanted to be. And then as we got older, I remember telling you about this apartment that I had with a buddy of mine, and it was like every Friday and Saturday night we would go down to this little corner store. We were in Philly at the time, so we would walk over there and we would buy 40s PBR, and then we would come back and sit on this like comedically small couch. I I do not know where he found this couch. You can't buy this couch. So we would sit, our thighs would touch.
Mm.
It was in that apartment, just chef's kiss. And we used to just watch all sorts of movies. It was just like a never-ending parade.
Name one.
So the one I recommended this to you, Swiss Army Man.
Yeah.
So that was one of the early ones, and he pitched it to me as Daniel Radcliffe. So Daniel Radcliffe's in it. He pitched me two kind of openings or intros to the movie. One was when Daniel Radcliffe was offered the movie. He said he was told the first fart in this movie is going to make you laugh, and the second fart in this movie is going to make you cry. And now I was already in. Then he said, if you want more detail, Daniel Radcliffe plays a dead body that learns how to love. And I mean, you watched the movie.
I watched it on your recommendation, and that is it.
Paul Dano, right?
Yeah.
Fills it in that movie.
I think, yeah, excellent.
But so that was one. We used to watch a lot of like kung fu movies, your Bruce Lee's, your Enter the Dragons, that sort of thing. Yeah, that was, and then kind of just went from there. But yeah, really just like watching movies with friends and family. Used to watch like a lot of westerns with my dad. Dad's all my family big Mel Brooks fans.
Okay.
So those movies were like kind of got me towards like I liked movies, and then I found out like, oh, like I really like funny movies, and then I just got really interested in like I love how movies can come together, how they play with like the video, the videography, or cinematography, like the directing, and how all that tied together. Did you have like a similar? Is there anything?
Yeah. So my VHS is. I think that's so corny. Just like, oh, dude, I was a '90s kid. But I mean, that was
Those movies.
how I saw most
dude.
movies. Like I didn't
Yeah.
really see.
Yeah.
I was like I guess we did go see some movies in the theaters. Probably saw some Disney stuff in the theaters, maybe.
Yeah.
But a lot of it was.
Would you like rent them? Would you
Yeah,
go to
we
like?
go rent them. But I remember my big story. Like you and your buddy watching. I was a little bit younger. Though. I was in elementary school. My buddy Moses and we would I'd go hang out at his house a lot. But his dad would buy VHSs, not just rent them. He would just own everything. So
I think I've asked you this though, but like, was it from the video rental?
no.
store?
It would be like he
oh.
went to Suncoast Video or
Oh,
whatever
like
store in the
wherever you could
mall,
like
or
buy.
I don't think
Okay.
maybe
Yeah.
Best Buy was around.
Yeah.
Best Buy was probably around, but it wasn't what Best
It
Buy
wasn't.
is.
Yeah.
So he would go. That's what I mean. He would just have them.
Yeah.
His dad would just own everything. So that's where I remember we would just see stuff that we shouldn't see, like Nicolas Cage 8mm.
Yeah.
Excellent movie.
Very upsetting
Not for
a
kids.
child. Yeah.
Not for kids.
Yeah.
But we saw it. I saw it at 12. I remember.
Yeah.
And I
Give
remember,
a little overview for the
Well,
viewers. Give me
there's
like the 2-second
I don't even like to say the
non-scary.
word stuff, but it's
Yeah.
about snuff films.
Yeah,
and
it's not great.
there's a snuff film and there's a murder in it, and you know, there's an investigation, and he's investigating, and Joaquin Phoenix is in it.
Yeah.
James Gandolfini is in it. Oh my God, what is his name? He's the bad guy in John Wick. I can't think of his name. He's in it. Excellent bad guy.
Yeah.
We just rewatched this recently, and I reiterated that I should not have seen it as a kid.
Yeah.
Definitely probably messed me up a
Yeah.
little bit. But yeah, we would watch just messed up things. And
Yeah.
it's like, there's actual like footage that they show
Yeah,
you. I mean,
yeah.
it's footage, quote unquote.
Yeah.
But oh yeah,
Not for like a
the
12-year-old.
dude from the Wire season 2. Did you see Wire?
No, I've never watched The Wire. Surprisingly, never
Okay,
watched it.
what are we watching? Coming
What-
soon. We're gonna
The
be watching The
Wire.
Wire, all of it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put toothpicks in his eyes. Season 1 through 5, back to back to back to back. I think that's
All
right.
in one. Yeah,
But
that's
anyways,
sure.
there's a season 2 character who's the villain.
Yeah. And it's him.
Later. Yeah, but
Incredible.
it's an excellent movie. But I should not have seen it that young.
Yeah.
But yeah, that got me into Nick Cage because it was that we did that Face Off. Snake Eyes was my favorite movie for a while as a
Yeah.
kid.
Yeah.
I don't know why that would be a favorite movie for a kid, but
People are like, I watched The Land Before.
it was not all the watches at home.
Yeah. It's
But,
all
like,
just like at your buddy's
Just
house.
his parents didn't care, or I don't know. They just didn't know we were watching them.
At the time, you were probably like, this is a pretty sweet
I remember
setup.
we saw
But
the
his
movie-
parents were in turmoil.
Strangeland is another movie we saw. That's a Dee Snider movie.
Yeah.
Where he's in
Dee
as
Snider.
Captain Howdy. Linda Cardellini is the main character in it, and he is like an internet villain.
That's
like
yeah.
It's a chat room villain.
Yeah.
It's like a really dark and weird movie. But like these are the movies we were watching as kids. Like
Yeah.
it wasn't like, oh, we were teenagers. We're like not even 13 yet.
You shouldn't have been seeing these.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
I
what
think
would
like
say
that
a ton of
describes.
movies. Yeah.
I'm just now
And
realizing.
that's probably why I am the way I am.
Yeah. I could. Yeah. I'm sure you could have paid a lot of money to someone for them to tell you that
Yeah.
in a controlled setting.
Yeah. They would tell me, yeah, dude,
Like, yeah, you're just real sad.
you're a wacky guy.
You're a shinky dude. I think that's like an overlap though that I'm realizing. Like, I feel like we both like watch where's some other one? Oh, like Saving Private Ryan. I'm like 14 watching what's his name? Sniper. Jackson just take out hordes of Germans. And I'm like, this is pretty good. Like just sit it like
yeah, that's a whole other explored.
We love
why
war movies.
violence is just like
That's
Natural
terrible.
Born Killers is like a
Yeah.
perfect example of that. Like that
Yeah.
movie, I love that movie, but it's like it's literally just describing, it's like showcasing American violence.
Yeah, it's terrifying.
That's the whole point of that movie. But it's crazy how they do it.
But I think why we get along so well and why we wanted to do this is because we both really like movies, but we like a lot of different movies. Like it's not just all upsetting,
Oh yeah,
upset just all the time. Like we like a lot of different movies. Like you said, like I'm huge into like war movies. Love war movies. Incredible. You're really big on your French horror
yeah.
film.
It was a really like I think we call it the new French extremity or whatever.
Yeah, Bonjour, yeah, sure.
Buongiorno. Now that's Italian.
It's not delivery, it's
Buongiorno. Buongiorno.
this is
Sorry, that was doing a little
Gorlami.
umami.
What's
I
that one?
freaking
Inglorious
Inglorious, I love
Bastards. What a great movie.
But yeah, I love, and I remember. I think High Tension. That's the first one I saw.
High Tension.
Yeah,
There's like a whole.
there's a whole. I
It's
sent you
like
a
you're
list.
yeah, you
I
sent me a list.
I didn't realize how many of them I've watched, but that was the
Yeah.
first one I saw, and I saw that when that was new. So
Yeah.
I saw that when I was like 15 or something,
Yeah.
and my brain exploded.
Just
what they
went-
could show on film, because like what they show in 8mm is like crazy enough, but what they
Mhm.
show in the 2000s when they start doing these things,
Yeah.
like there's Frontiers. I just rewatched that one.
Yeah.
I think that one's an NC boy. That one's a no
Yeah.
children under 17,
Yeah.
and it should be.
And it should be.
Yeah, and like Martyrs is probably the one that people will.
Oh,
like,
you
that's
keep
really the
pitching
first one that people
yeah,
watch,
Yeah.
and it should be because it's
Yeah.
insane. I love that movie.
Just as a disclaimer, we're not going to only be talking about.
No.
like, yeah.
No, I love horror, but
Yeah.
I also love like what do we say? We have a Venn diagram of stuff that we like, but
Yeah.
we're like yin and yang. We have very
Yeah.
different, like
Different
you have
Genres.
a unhealthy relationship with war movies that like you know way too much, and it's
Yeah.
kind of scary.
Yeah.
But I also love it because I'm like, oh, it's my buddy Nick. He just
Yeah.
talks all
I
about
just like to see
a
my
lot of
friends
wars.
succeed. Sure. You're like a big fan of like The Sound of Music. We'll get into that.
Go there.
We'll get into this at some point. I'm
Yeah.
sure.
I
He brought up Sound of Music the other day at work, and
Mm.
Keith, like, like when your your drunk uncle is screaming at the TV, like beat red face, been drinking all day, big games on. That was Keith in an office
Yeah, but
setting.
switch the time setting
Yeah,
to somewhere around 9 or 10 a.m. and switch it to just having too many cups of coffee
yeah,
instead of alcohol. And
yeah,
it's probably worse because I'm
yeah.
just way too animated, screaming my head off about
He's
how
waving his hands around about Sound of Music.
Julie Andrews is boring, and she's why is everyone so worried about her?
Everyone's so worried about. No, but she's good
No, she's
if she's
and
listening.
the movie actually. I know I can't say it. I told you and Emily I could not go back on it. I
Yeah,
already said it.
you
Can't
can.
say it.
Yeah,
So
you already said.
even if I do enjoy it, I can
Yeah.
never say it.
If you meet her,
Because of what I've said about it,
if
I can't say
yeah,
I like it.
if we meet her, and that's how far I think
And I
this is
can't
gonna
look her
go.
in the eye.
Yeah, I'm gonna be like, wow, it's an honor. I loved your work, and you're gonna be like, hey, here, take one of these.
What was that? Was that a middle finger?
Yeah,
to
I
me?
just gave middle finger. Take
Ooh,
that.
yeah, for all our
Yeah,
viewers at home.
for all the viewers.
So yeah, she'll be like, oh,
Yeah.
"Would you two young
Young
gentlemen like a nice
what?
autograph?" And I would say, he would." I won't even be looking at her.
Yeah,
I'll be turned.
you'd be like, yeah, I'll give you mine. just and then just we'll walk away.
That's
That was
stupid.
stupid. Sure,
Love
bump
it.
it,
Yeah,
bump it,
no,
cut,
bump it.
cut the. Um, yeah. So like you said, just a lot of different stuff. Growing up, watching movies, talking about movies. Um, we're gonna get into. I think we talked about like just some stuff that we're gonna be covering. Like we want to do like directors, some of our favorite directors, some actors, soundtracks.
Mm,
We,
little
we,
Hans Zimmer
ooh,
action.
sure. I don't know
He's the best.
for the viewer listeners at
What I
home.
just did? Yeah, yeah.
He just did. I would call it an interpretation of jazz hands, but like jazz hands are the side. I'm doing
No,
it.
it was, it was the
It was like
keyboard.
keyboard hands.
Yeah, like
Keyboard hands. That's it.
so I'm thinking True Romance.
You're thinking,
I'm
okay,
thinking Dewey's
because of
Theme.
Han. Okay,
I'm thinking Broken
okay.
Arrow. I'm thinking.
You're thinking them all.
See, I don't actually know that much about music, and I am tone deaf, and I don't know much about soundtracks. But for some reason,
Hans Zimmer.
Hans Zimmer
That's
just does it for me.
he's
He's
good.
on all the good.
He's another listener.
Excellent projects.
But all the track. No, I don't think he's on that one.
I don't.
They
think
couldn't
so.
get him.
We could IMDb it if
I
you
could
really
look him. I
if you
could
really
call
need
him.
to.
But
You call him. Yeah. Hey, Mr. Zimmer.
Mr. Zimmerman. This is
Oh, so now he's Hans Zimmerman.
Let's dump it. Just get rid of this.
No,
whole
I like it.
episode.
I think if it's
Should we
bad, it's
delete
good.
this episode like we did?
Yeah,
the
just
first
delete
one?
it. We'll go third time's a charm.
No, I think we gotta call it after that if we
Yeah.
do. If we delete it again.
Yeah.
But yeah. So that's kind of why we're here, talking about movies. We like movies a lot. Um, we usually would come in and basically ask each other like, "What did you watch over the weekend?"
Sometimes you wouldn't ask. I would just
You
tell you.
just
You would
tell.
have your headphones in, turn
Yeah.
around. I was like, dude, I watched this movie,
Yeah.
and you'd be like, oh,
Feel like great.
and you're just nice to me.
Great.
You're like you sit there and entertain.
But it reminds me of like when I was at my at like I always think about that time like that was what like probably I watched because I had the most free time because you're in school and I didn't do anything in college because I was boring. So it'd be like the whole weekend of just like only watching movies in like that little crappy apartment with my buddy. Did I ever tell you about that apartment?
I think you did because you told me about the couch. I
The
don't know
couch, the small couch. There was a mouse. Did I tell you about the mouse?
Oh, the mouse.
He
You
used to
need
watch. He used to watch. So I would be sitting on the couch. My friend Jack would be sitting on the couch, and then this tiny mouse would sit on the floor next to us, and we would all watch movies together.
And this is a Wes Anderson movie.
This is a Wes Anderson, so it was very, very, very.
The mouse
bright.
has an outfit.
Mouse says it was Stuart Little. He had a top hat.
Wes Anderson redoes.
Street Dolls live action Stuart Little. Great. I think would just I'd give up. But so his little mouse, he would sit there, he would scamper about, whatever. It was a crappy like apartment in the city, and um, that I guess I didn't tell you this story. I watched him die of old age.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's that. I don't.
He was-
You didn't tell me, but that sounds upsetting.
He was, and one day he was walking really slow, and we're like, rough night, whatever. He's out partying. I'm trying to think what political events were happening where he would have been celebrating. Probably nothing. I don't even know. I'm just trying to think. That wouldn't get you. I just try and
Imagine if he has a newspaper
He's-
hat. He's like a little bowler hat on.
he's like, "Arr!" So that was just I just try and I try and say things that just make no sense just because it makes us laugh. But so he was walking a little slow. Me and my buddy left. We went to class. Came back. He was dead on his side. Tragic. So we assumed it was old age. That's the story that I like to tell myself. Not he didn't have like some old time. He didn't die from like the great fever or something. Like he was just old. He's just an old guy, you know.
Yeah.
And I haven't been right since.
I was gonna say, I will say for the viewers at
Yeah.
home,
Yeah.
Nick's eyes got a great sadness. You
Mm.
can't see them, but I can see them, and I'll tell you, it's sad. And
Yeah.
it's sad.
You know, in Saving Private Ryan, when he's looking down at Captain Miller's grave,
Yeah.
that I am Private Ryan, and Miller is the mouse. And I'm looking at his grave.
Okay.
Yeah. You remember that? He's in a windbreaker and he starts
Yeah,
crying.
that's
The windbreaker is not needed. That's not irrelevant.
a tough one.
Yeah.
That's a real tough one. I'm thinking,
Moment
you know
of
what?
silence for this guy.
Well, no. I just what
Yeah.
popped into my head. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Maybe it's Tom Hanks crossover, but I know Castaway really.
The end of Castaway.
Yeah.
Sad. Was it that one?
No. Yeah, that's the movie.
Wait, I know. Yeah, I
But
know
the
that's the
ending when
movie.
he comes when he's hung,
Yeah, it's
he has
sad.
to go back to the house.
And he's staring. Remember, he picks up that crab leg. Oh, at the back. Oh, that's a bird.
I don't remember a crab leg.
Yeah,
I just
he's
remember
at the
he goes.
party.
He goes to the
The
house.
crab leg.
Is that a thing?
There's
Maybe.
a crab leg. in
Maybe,
there.
okay.
I'm getting too caught up on the crab leg.
Yeah, I don't know. That's not sad to me. Is it the crab leg sad?
No, it's just a.
No, I thought they were going for
just-
devastating moments.
Oh,
I'm going for when he
it's
goes to the
so-
house. She's married and it's raining outside.
Oh.
That's
That happens every day.
that's brutal.
Not every day does it happen that you come back from a desert island and you see just an excess of crab legs on a. Okay.
Oh, you know what? That actually brought it back. I'm picturing it now.
Yeah, see what I mean?
But okay,
So yeah, that was
so
very
I'm
sad. He
thinking
goes
depression
home.
in the eyes. You said
Yeah,
last
sure.
time we shot this, you said
Crab
Great
leg.
Depression was in your
Oh.
eyes. This time you went with Saving Private Ryan. I took that into
Tom Hanks.
Castaway.
Yeah, why are you whispering? Tom Hanks isn't here.
Just in case.
Can you imagine if he was? He's like, yeah,
I'm so disappointed.
ah. He's so, ah. Yeah, that's a good one. That is a very sad ending, but it's like hopeful, you know, because he finally delivered. Remember, he has the package with the wings on it, and he finally delivers it, and it's like, yeah, it's like full circle. I mean, he didn't get his wife. That's a bummer, but like,
yeah, that's brutal.
you know,
I think the rain makes it worse because honestly,
oh, it's pouring. In
if you
that
think about that, like
movie.
he's standing there in that
Yeah.
downpour. I've been in that situation where you're standing in downpour and
Downpour?
things are bad if you're
Yeah.
standing in the downpour.
He's in like jeans too.
You're just letting
You
it
don't
hit
come
you.
back.
You're
from
not
that.
running.
No.
You're just letting it hit you. That
No.
is a bad sign.
Can you imagine the chafing that must have been going on?
You're just wet, really wet. Back of my hands getting wet. Can't stand it.
No.
That will
Tragic.
drive me nuts.
All right, so what were we talking about? So why we got into movies? That we were talking about the apartment, bringing me back to there. Yeah, it's just there's so many good ones, and I don't think I want to get off on tangents now
No,
because we have a lot of stuff that we're going
We
to
have
talk
plenty of time
about
to ruin your day with
to ruin your
tangents.
day. Oh, it's going to be a nightmare listening to this thing.
Oh yeah.
We're going to have guests. I don't know who. No, it's just kidding.
I mean,
Yeah.
Em
Well, I want to
just-
bring Emily on.
she
here.
just
We're gonna
rattled
do,
off some
yeah.
deep
Musicals.
dive into a movie that I've never seen, and,
Yeah.
and I'm just looking, and I'm like, could she be doing this instead of me?
Yeah, I mean, we deleted the first one
People would
accidentally.
definitely
so-
rather hear her voice than mine.
Yeah, I feel like we're harping on that we deleted it a lot. Like we're like, dude, I'm
I
not
don't know
even
if they
worried
know
about
though. Did they know we deleted it?
I feel like we were talking about it.
It was funny because right before you did delete it, you said that'd be so funny if I deleted it, and then your face got really stressed.
I know.
You were like red.
Oh, if you could feel the listeners, if you could feel
They
the
could
lower back
See you
sweat,
sinking.
oh,
You're like,
like,
you said, you kept
Oh,
looking
that's
around doing something. I
Yeah.
can't see. You're like, oh, it's right there. Oh, and then you're like, oh, it's
I
right
must have ran out of tape or
there.
something.
And you're like, oh no, it's right there. And
It's right there,
I'm, okay, so I went back to eating.
and that was the Internet Explorer icon.
He's like, oh, I hope he shows up. I hope he shows up.
By some
And
miracle.
then we found the file and it said 0 bytes. We're like, well, that
You're
didn't
like, well, I'm gonna zero bite myself off a bridge. I think
It's room for 2. I can also 0 byte myself.
cannonball off the Golden Gate.
Mm. We said none of that.
No,
in episode 1.
it's fine.
It's fine.
We're out of here. Yeah.
But yeah,
What else?
so we're gonna just as the syllabus for this class, we're gonna be doing.
Yeah. So
We're probably gonna do some really deep dives into one movie in particular, but maybe
we're going to talk about a lot of
maybe a
movies.
group of
yeah.
movies that are related, maybe a director, maybe a few movies of a director, maybe
Yeah.
just movies that are. We did talk about doing. Is the remake actually better? Is it actually worse?
Oh,
Because I
yeah.
feel like sometimes, depending on when you saw the remake versus the original,
Yeah.
and what it
Yeah.
is, because it's not always a cut and dry thing.
Yeah.
And I feel like everybody has a different personality, everyone has a different thing, everyone has a different origin story, why they like.
Because some people get mad,
but other
like-
people will tell you, no, if it's not Vincent, I'm not buying that.
I don't know who you're talking
That's
to.
the
that sounds
it's
like that.
actually I didn't mean to do it, but it's from Rocko's Modern Life. It's what's the turtle guy?
Oh, it does kind of sound
his
like
name?
that. I can't. You want me to
Not
Google it?
Herman. I know that.
Not Herman.
No, it's not.
You want me to look it up?
You can, yeah. Go
I don't
ahead.
know that one.
What do you know what I'm talking about though?
Yeah, I know who you're talking about,
What
but
the hell is his name? I love that
Rocko's
show.
Modern Life. Yeah, then we're going to talk about. I'd like to talk about Filbert. Filbert is his name. The turtle. Filbert. Turtle.
Yeah, I should have known that.
But we're going to talk about like a lot of TV. We watch a lot of TV shows. We watch. Are you a documentary? I feel like I've never talked to you about documentaries.
I am if someone else puts it on. I don't mind them.
Okay.
I just don't like. I'll go into some deep little rabbit holes on a certain subject, but I just
Yeah.
I don't seek it out.
You don't like. You don't. Did you watch like any of the Dahmer stuff? Like any of those stuff?
I
Any of
did.
those,
I've
like,
seen
live?
a few different. I can't remember all of them. I've seen variations of Dahmer movies, the documentaries, and then the series.
Yeah,
Obviously, I think
yeah.
everybody watched the series.
Yeah, that was
whether
a
you
big
wanted to
one.
or not. I feel like it
Yeah.
somehow got into your brain. Netflix did some kind of algorithm that made you.
Yeah.
Even if you said I shouldn't watch this because I don't want to know about
Yeah.
this.
You said that to yourself after you accidentally watched the
But
whole 7
Everybody
series.
giggled at work on Monday. It was like, who's gonna say it? Who's gonna say it? We all watched it.
Yeah! And then it was just uproar.
And then everybody's like, "Oh my god! Like I didn't want to like it."
Yeah.
Everyone says the same thing.
Like I didn't expect to be on his side.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
I don't think anyone said that.
Dude, you remember that there's a whole thing about how like people are like
Well, that's
obsessed with him as a dude. That's a whole other
that's
thing.
a whole other thing.
That's
I
a
don't
whole
want
other
to
thing.
associate that with our podcast. I don't want to
No.
think, oh, these two dudes are doing
You
a
have
podcast, and they're
nightmares.
like, we love numbers.
I don't know why. If we find ourselves talking about it, we have to. Should we do that, or should we talk as Kermit the Frog?
What if someone just snips that and then is like, don't listen to this podcast because, and here's the soundbite.
Because-
But it's not weird.
Yeah, then we're out of here.
Cancel.
Done. Final episode. But then in like 5 years, we could do the reunion.
Yeah, like, oh yeah, you thought these guys are.
You thought they were gone.
They had hot takes, and now they're back with some even colder ones.
Never done before. Two dudes with a podcast.
Reunion.
I will say, so I'm sipping out of my what are we watching coffee mug right now. I thought that was a little hot going right out of the gate with buying
I
mugs for
thought
it.
it was awesome because you
But-
had it was in my cubicle the next day.
Yeah. Yep. Had a little coupon.
I drank out of it.
Yeah, I'm drinking out of mine
I
right
wish I
now.
had mine with me. We're
Now we have to share.
two guys.
Two straws.
Mug.
Straws. Hot coffee.
Oh yeah, coffee through a hot straw.
Paper straws.
Yeah, it gets.
It's a mess.
Yeah, it's really. You get a couple sips and that's it.
And that's your done. So
Yeah, it's just a.
it's just a gazpacho at
cardboard
that
mess.
point. Stupid.
Yeah, it took a second.
The gazpacho, that's what
Yeah.
got you. So we're gonna be talking about gazpacho.
Yeah, our like favorite recipes.
What did we cover anything? Did you want to cover anything else? What did we talk about?
So we're talking about like current movies that we saw.
Yeah,
Stuff that comes out.
Current
because
stuff.
I like to do that
yeah.
because I feel like we watch a lot
We
of
both
movies.
have Movie Pass.
We do have Movie Pass.
The monthly, you can go to any movie.
Yeah.
The Movie Pass.
So we
yeah.
have that.
We have
We have that going for us, which is nice.
No, we don't have a lot going for us, but I
That's
do have
it.
my Movie Pass debit
I'm
card.
about to get that Regal one because I've
Yeah.
been going to the movies way too much.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll go over stuff that we see when we see it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then we'll do our not so deep dives, and then I think one interesting thing we're gonna do is something that Nick really likes that I might not be like. I might like it, but I don't
Yeah.
like something that Nick really knows.
Yeah.
We're gonna watch that together.
Yeah.
You know, and then something I really like, something in my little basket of fun, I'm gonna pull out and make Nick watch, and then we're gonna watch it together, and we're gonna just kind of,
It's basically
maybe-
just going to be a lot of nonsense. So it's going to just be all over the place at times. in
I'm
the best
never
way.
gonna take a note.
No, it's gonna be all approximate knowledge. Be
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, I think he had blue eyes.
Well, because my memory. So we.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, we need to talk about
yeah.
this. So
Oh,
Nick can remember anything from every movie, any movie he's ever seen. It's insane.
it's just little quotes and details here and there. I can't remember work things, which is a big problem.
But like I can't remember a plot of a movie I just watched 5 minutes ago.
Yeah.
If I'm
Yeah.
watching the movie and you ask me what's going on, I can probably fumble through an answer. While I'm trying to watch it, can't
Yeah.
do two things at once.
What happened? You try and set out like, oh, I need to remember this, and then you see
Even
the
if I do that,
credits,
even if I set out
and it's
a
just
buoy out
been
there, it's like remember this.
Yeah.
Remember me?
is that your buoy?
That
voice?
was no, that was Eminem. But
Okay.
sorry,
Yeah,
I don't know where that went.
I don't know either.
The coffee, it's what does it.
Yeah,
It makes me nuts.
yeah, it makes me look good.
Powder donuts make me get nuts. Yeah, but you can remember everything.
Okay.
Can I tell them about Valentine's Day?
You
That's
I'd
fun.
love to.
Okay, so on Valentine's Day,
I don't care. I think it's
watched
funny. I
Valentine's
don't
Day,
really think.
which I think is
Yeah.
a lesser good version of
Love
Love
Actually.
Actually.
Yeah,
the
sure.
Christmas one.
Oh, sure.
Cry every time.
Oh,
Every time.
at the scene. You know the scene.
It's the
scene. It's
the
the one
couple.
story.
It's the couple that
Oh.
speaks different languages. They're saying
Yeah.
the same thing.
Incredible.
I can't even see.
I can't even see.
My eyes are so wet I can't
I'm
see.
watching this in the dark.
I'm
Can't
trying to do the
see.
hold the eyes open, pretend
Yeah.
you're not tearing up.
Yeah.
Dude, every time.
Gets you.
Goes to the restaurant.
Put me to bed.
I'm crying. I don't
Yeah.
care. Anyways,
It's such a good
Valentine's
movie.
Day, I think
Yeah,
is
that's very
they
sweet.
try to redo the same kind of idea, ensemble cast.
Yeah.
I think they go higher with the ensemble. They get a better
They get a better ensemble.
but the plot there's so many weird little missteps
Yeah.
that like I figure out the one is I forget. There's a couple little scenes that they just smatter in there.
Yeah.
I think they're trying to I don't know.
You're trying to do art or whatever.
And
Sure.
I watched them, had to rewind a couple parts. I'm like, that was insane. So I brought that knowledge in. I was telling somebody else at work about. Nick walks by in lockstep.
Yeah.
Finishes my sentence on 3 different things in a row, including a quote
Yeah.
that I only could remember because I just watched it the night before. He hadn't watched it for months, and he had the whole quote to Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
So it's not even something that he likes.
It's just it's a good movie, but it's not
No,
like
it's not like Jaws where you would
Yeah.
give me.
Yeah.
Even was like, dude, I watched Jaws again for the first time in a while. And he's
Yeah.
like, boom, quote, boom, quote,
bing.
fact.
Yeah.
Where's the license plate from?
What's the shark's name? Bruce. Everybody knows that. Bada bing.
And it just hits me with all this
Yeah.
shit. I'm like, dude, you are like a plethora of knowledge.
A plethora. A whole plethora.
A whole plethora.
It's just I don't know. It's just little things here and there.
But yeah, so you hold it in. You're
Yeah.
like the elephant, and I'm the goldfish. Maybe we call that the podcast.
Elephant and goldfish. Attorneys at law.
That's all.
Just dump
That's
that.
a subtext. That's for the ones that know.
Know what?
Well, they just know about the podcast.
They-
So they'll call it, no, that won't happen.
Should our
Nope,
fans be the
just
elephants?
cancel it. Dump it. Throw it out.
Throw it all out.
Throw it all out.
Are we gonna have like a kooky
But
morning
there will be
radio
times when
show?
you stumble me through a movie that I love,
Yeah.
and I'm like, you're like, oh yeah, so remember when this
Yeah.
happens, and I'm like trying to remember. Even though
I'm like, no, he was dead the whole
I
time.
love the movie, and
And you're like, oh my god, I had never seen The Odd Life of Timothy Green before.
I haven't still to this day.
No, I honestly, I think that's one of those movies. They reference this in Did you ever watch The Office TV show Office? You watched.
It's not a real question, is it?
No, no, it's for the.
Is
listeners.
that like was that
It's
rhetorical?
for the listeners.
Oh, it's rhetorical.
It's for the watchers.
You're gonna do a couple of those. This is your little
Yeah.
bit, a couple of rhetoricals. Okay.
I don't know why you're so mad right now.
I'm just offended. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Yes, I saw. I love that.
So
show.
the one poster that he has, Michael Scott has a poster of The Odd Life of Timothy Green, and for some reason I think that is so funny to me, and I don't know why. But yeah, I don't know. But like I said, I wish I could actually remember like important things.
Yeah, I'm looking at the movie poster for this, and it's kids' feet with plants growing out of it.
That's just so stupid. I love that.
I'm looking at here.
Now we're getting fired up.
This is 2012. You're watching.
2012.
So how old were you?
How old was I in 2012? I was like 16, 17.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was a lot older in 2012. Me even knowing this movie existed would
Yeah.
be a red flag
Yeah.
for most families.
Oh, it seems like I'm doing a podcast with like the neighborhood old guy down the street. I'm like, oh, get him out of the sun for a minute. Just wants to tell people his stories.
He's got back hair and no shirt on. Some pair of grass stained
It's all grass stained.
shorts.
Everything is he's one giant grass stain.
Some mess.
This guy's a nightmare. Yeah. So that's basically covers, I think, what we're going to be talking about. Yeah. So what do you think? Should we call it at that one?
I think that's the
I
origin
think that's
story.
that's episode 1
That-
in the books.
Ooh.
Join us next time to answer the question, what are you watching? All right. See you guys later.